also want to point out that you may be working with multiple objects on your page, and they may be overlapping objects. So here I've just placed a circle on my page. My text is flowing under the circle, which makes it hard to read. So what I want to create is something called a text wrap. That will allow the text to wrap around my object here without covering it. So in order to apply that text wrap, I highlight the object that I want the text to go around, not the text. I need to make sure to highlight the object that's being avoided. And then I go up to the window panel and I open my text wrap panel. So here's the text wrap. I'm going to pull that off so it's a little clearer to see. And I can see my different options for a text wrap. Right now it's just set to overlap one another. This next setting will set the text to wrap around the bounding box of my object. That's this blue outside frame that defines the object dimensions. And so you can see it's wrapping outside that blue frame. I can also set it to wrap to the line of the object itself. So if I click that, now you can see that my text wraps closely to the circle. But you may also note here that it's really bumping right up against that circle, which makes it a little hard to read. The other thing that InDesign allows me to do is to set a spacing setting around that circle so that I can have the text avoid it by a certain distance. So let's say I want the text to avoid it by 0.15 inches. I'm going to hit enter. And you can see I now get this blue guide circle around my circle, and that makes the text a lot clearer to read because there's a little bit of breathing room. So that's in the text wrap panel, and the text wrap both allows me to set whether or not I want the text to wrap, how I want it to be applied to the shape that's available, and then to set the spacing around my object. For the circle, I have to set a uniform spacing, but if this were a rectangular shape, or for example, if I picked to wrap to the bounding box instead, then I would have the option of selecting different wrap distances for each of the sides. And I'm going to go back to my circle shape because I prefer the way that that looks. The other thing I'll note is the wrap options here. I have the option, depending on where the object is placed, to wrap to both sides, to only the right side, to only the left side, and then if I'm working in a facing page document, the side towards the spine and the side away from the spine. Or I let InDesign determine which side is going to be larger, the side to the left or the side to the right.